That's up Embo's Lane.
Wouldn't lie to you, doesn't matter what I do.
She's got a hold on me. She knows how to drive a truck, but she lets me pick her up when we're going dancing. My heart stops beating when my headlights shining on her. She's my country girl. I couldn't tell you what she's doing with me. She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country. Yeah, she's my country.
Lara's in having a munch. Leaving the yard. Same problem again. I thought I was videoing and I wasn't. I don't know why that happens whenever I get here. So I just thought I'd quickly film this. So I've just arrived at the beach. Yeah, so not exactly the weather I like, but it's good enough. It's almost there, still pretty nice. And there we go, don't want to get run over. So I parked the lorry up, and there was that van there, so I just manoeuvred it a bit. Right, we are here. You know what, it's the smallest things. So the way I'm mounting, I think in a much more cleaner fashion, I need to get a pair of joppers, breadwings, whatever, that has a phone pocket. Because what I'm finding is, if this phone is in my jacket pocket, so I've gone and purchased these riding joppers that don't have a phone pocket, this sticks in your hip and it stops me having that momentum and maneuver that momentum that I need to bounce off, because I hate putting my foot in the stirrup. For as long as I can remember, I have mounted by sliding one leg over the saddle. So if I'm going to change that, I want to do it with as little pressure in the stirrup, because the saddle twists right over. And I seriously believe in mounting from both sides, so that's another thing I need to practice. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to be quiet. Tides in 10:45 today, and I think it's hopefully it will be around 11:30 when we get there. So there should be enough beach.
I look out across the water, I smell the salt, I feel the breeze, but in my heart I hear the calling of my old home, Tennessee. We don't know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses when and where to blow. The sun is gonna rise.
still hear the calling of Tennessee. Who are we to know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses when and where to blow? The sun is gonna rise each and every time, and I've still got Tennessee on my mind. I miss the smoke on the Cumberland and the fireflies at midnight, and the color of the leaves in the fall. Who are we to know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses when and where to blow? The sun is gonna rise each and every time, and I've still got Tennessee on. Yeah, I've still got Tennessee on my mind. Yeah.
I thought it was recording earlier, so not. Oh, she's having a poo. So I don't know if it was captured in the last edit. So we're only a couple of meters from Sand Beach, which makes a big difference rather than being all the way out there. Right, after all that hydrotherapy, her legs will be knackered. So I can gallop her back. Dry bit now, and she knows it. Oh, silly cow. Whoa. Didn't need to edit that. You saw how near the ramp we were yesterday, short gallop. So battery's at 1%, so I'm just going to change it now. My mum and dad took a tremendous interest in what I did as a kid. So they had these 3 kids that were like tremendous high flyers in the city, academically like incredibly bright. And then there was me, who was the complete opposite. I had no interest in academic education. I was the complete opposite of those 3. But apparently, from the age of 18 months to 8 years, all I did was bat on about horses. I was completely obsessed. So from the age of 8 onwards, my dad religiously took me to the local riding school. Then when I was old enough to get the bus, I took myself and I mucked out there in return for lessons. Even got to choose the horse I wanted to ride, my favourite Rex. He was a 16-hand dark bay thoroughbred that was never ridden other than by the staff and that. And I even got to take the trail rides out. So they made sure that I got everywhere and that I had so much involvement with horses. Even though they, didn't buy a yard for me or us, they enabled me to, make sure that I got my first horse at 13. I met my best friend who was 4 years older than me, and she was an absolutely tremendous rider. So she was from that background where her mum and dad, did everything. Her dad owned one of those massive wagons, like the size of a street. Took her everywhere to competitions, so she was 4 years older than me. And back then they called it horse trials, but it would be the equivalent of BE 100 now. And she competed up and down the country, and there was little old me, and I just, used to jump in the lorry and go with her everywhere. My mum's helped me pay for horses, you know, throughout my life. The lorry, Lara even. So they've definitely been a massive, massive influence in my life. What's going on here? They're just a bunch of kids. They must be thinking, why am I talking to myself? Hi. Hi. So today we did 13.32 kilometers in distance and a maximum speed of 41.22 kilometers an hour, which is a lot more than I was expecting because her legs were knackered after that 4-mile trot in a relatively deep sea. According to the rider, yeah. Before I go, I always check her over one more time. Reason being, one time I brought her back and she'd been kicking in that in the lorry and hadn't checked, and she'd got that thing, it was caught on the, so I always make sure that had hooked on and her head was in the air and she was pouring with sweat when I got back to the yard. So from now on I always check everything is in order before I leave. So I make sure her rug isn't hanging off the side, otherwise I'll get her back out of the lorry and redo it, and I make sure that hasn't got trapped on anything, because I'd rather just unload her and do it all again rather than her travel and get to the other side covered in sweat and just soaked in sweat and stressed. It's about 21 degrees and it's a gorgeous August summer's night. Going to put these pictures up on the local site. They absolutely love it when I put these pics up. I'm the only one that does it. I get so many likes for the local area. And they ask so many questions about the dogs. Absolutely gorgeous. Thanks so much for joining me this week, guys. From me, Fella and Atlas, till next time.